Hello everyone, welcome again. So in our previous video, we discussed how you can modify the data provider Excel sheet with the pass and fail status. Now in this video, we are going to discuss how you can generate a report file, means a Excel report file. So this is the report file which I was talking about, in which we have test method, their corresponding pass and fail status, and along with the exception message if there is a failure in the method. So whenever you run your testng-XML, automatically a test output folder will get created, and inside this test output folder we will have enable report.html. So if I open it, it will give me the information about what are the methods which were executed as the part of this testng.xml and what are the corresponding status. But the problem with this report is that you cannot modify it. So that's why we will focus on generating this kind of report, which is easy to maintain also, and also you can modify it according to your requirement. So if you look at the test output folder, we will have this testng-result-xml. So this entire report is getting generated from this XML. So if I open this XML, as you can see that this is the suite name, test name, class name, and test method. So whatever the information which is present inside the testng-XML, that is what is your suite name, what is the test name, what are the classes, that automatically come inside this testng-result.xml. So if I look at here we have test name alert soup. Inside that we have a class name test alert. Inside this class we will have a test method which got failed, and there is an exception message. So I'm going to take the help of this particular XML generate this type of report. So here I'm going to delete this particular folder, and again I will add report folder inside the source folder. So inside this folder I will add a class file, and let me call it as Excel report generator, and it will have the main method. Inside this I will create a public method, public void generate Excel report, and this will take the argument string as target file name, that what should be the your target report file name. Now as we know that this test output folder or will automatically get created as soon as you finish the execution of testng.xml, and it will be always parallel to the location of testng.xml. So again I will use the class loading mechanism to construct a path to this folder. So again string path equal to dot class dot get class loader dot get resource, and here I will use the dot slash which will point to the current directory. So let me run this script in debug mode to show you whether we are able to reach the test output folder or not. So new dot generate report. So if I do a step over, so as you can see that we are getting the path till the bin folder. So now I will modify the path to point to the source folder. So now this will point to the source folder. Now in order to create the Excel file, again I will take the help of Java IO package. So file, so before that I will point to the XML file from where I am going to read the data. So new file, and path will be path. So this will represent the parent directory. So this will come to the WebDriver folder, and then we will have test output, and inside that we will have our testng-result-xml. So let me just check whether we are able to read it or not. This is out XML file. So let me run the script. So we are getting true. That means that we are able to read this file. Now as we know that this is an XML file, so we need certain mechanism to parse this file. So for example, when it was an Excel report, we were using the Apache POI, and we are following the workbook, sheet, row and column structure to read the file. Similarly, here also we are going to perform certain action to parse the XML file. And basically there are two ways of parsing the XML file, that is DOM and SAX. So we are using SAX parsing technique for parsing the file. So for that, document builder factory, document builder factory dot new instance. After that, document builder build fact dot new document builder. So it is going to throw me a checked exception. After this, document doc equal to build dot parse file, and this will be the XML file. And after this, doc dot get dot normalize. So these are the four steps you need to follow So these are the four steps you need to follow to read an XML file using the sex parser. So after that, once this is done, if you look at your testng-result-xml, so everything will be in the form of tag. Suite name, test, class, test method. So tag, or you can say node. So first of all, I need to read this particular test tag or test node to fetch the entry which is present inside this particular test node. And if we look at our testng.xml, inside the test we have classes, and inside the classes we will have methods. So the way of iteration will be, first we will read all the test tag or test node. For every test node we will read the classes, and for every classes we are going to read the method and their corresponding status. So here, and parallelly we will also construct our XML file for report generation. So here first I will construct the workbook. So first of all, doc dot get element by tag name. So first of all, I need to read the test tag. So for reading the test tag, I will use the method document, which is this object, dot get element by tag name, and I will specify the tag. So it is going to return me a list. So this particular method, as we know that we have multiple test tags in our XML file, so this particular method will going to return me the list of that, and I need to use the class node list to store that particular list. So here what logic I am applying is that whatever the test name, that will act as a sheet name, and whatever the class name, that will be get appended with the test method name, and that will be written inside the XML file. So in the Excel file, whatever the sheet name will be your test name, and inside the sheet, whatever the method name will be appended with the class name and the status and their corresponding exception message if it is there. So once I got the list of all the tests, I need to iterate it. So for int I equal to 0, I is less than test list dot get size, get length I plus plus. Now inside this, for every test tag I will iterate for the class tag, or you can say class node. So node test underscore node equal to, so one by one from the node list I am getting the test nodes. So this will be test list dot item, and the index value will be I. And after that, string test underscore name equal to. So I need to read this particular attribute which will construct the sheet name for me. So inside the tag we will have the name attribute, and I need to read the value of this name attribute. So here, using this node object, I'm going to read it. So test underscore node, and before that I need to typecast it to element type, and there is a method called get attribute, and specify the name of attribute. So automatically for this particular node it is going to read the value of the name attribute. So for example, our node is pointing to this tag, so automatically it will read the value of this name attribute. So after that, using this node using this node name, I will create the sheet equal to book dot create sheet, and this will be a test name. Now our sheet creation part is done. Now it's time to read the class node which is present inside the test node. So again, same here, using this node, because currently it is pointing to the first test node. So test node, again I need to typecast this to the element type, element dot get element by the tag name, and the tag name will be your class. So again it is going to return me node list, and this will be class underscore list. So now again I need to iterate for the classes which is present inside the test. So for int j equal to 0, j is less than class list dot get length j plus plus. Again here, using the node, I will get the first class node. So node class underscore node equal to class list dot item at jth index, and string class underscore name equal to class node. Again I need to typecast this to element type, dot get attribute, and again this will be your name. And after that, so as you can see that inside the class we will have multiple test method nodes, so we need to read one by one. So again here, node this will be same our class node object dot get element by tag name, and this time the tag name will be test method. And again it is going to give me the list of node list, test underscore method underscore list. So now I need to iterate for the test method tag. So here for int j equal to 0, k is less than test method list dot get length k plus. So now using this object again I will get the first test method node. So node equal to dot item of k, and now I need to get the name of that method to string test underscore method underscore name equal to, again I need to typecast this object to element type dot get attribute, and this will be your name. So now we have our class name, sorry, we have our test name, class name, and test method name. So now it's time to write this information inside the Excel file. So here XSF, I will create the row. So row equal to sheet dot create row, and I will have one more integer over here, int row equal to 0. So row plus plus. So using this, okay, r plus plus. Using this row object, I will create the cell equal to row dot create cell, and index location will be 0 because first column will be the your test method name, and here I will have cell dot set cell value, and value will be class name appended with the test method name. So class name using the dot operator to give a package structure plus test method name. Okay, and also I will have one more string which will represent the status. So test method status, and this will be your status attribute. So name attribute will give me the name of test method, status attribute will give me the pass or fail. So after that again I need to create a cell for, let me make it cell underscore name, and I will create one more cell for status cell underscore status equal to row dot create, and index value will be 1, and cell underscore status dot set cell value will be your test method status. So finally everything has been constructed. All I need to do is to write back into the Excel file. So as we know that for writing, again we need to take the help of Java IO package, that is file output stream. So here file output stream fout equal to new file output stream path plus report folder. So this will be report folder slash plus destination file name. So book dot write fout and fout dot close, and at the end sysout report generated. So let me run this script. So first of all I need to specify the name of report file. So as you can see that we have message at the console report generated. I'll do a refresh of this folder if I open it. So as you can see that first of all we are getting the sheet name based on the test. So if I look at my testng-XML, so we have alert suite, we have WebDriver suite, JavaScript suite, WebDriver backed Selenium suite. So for every test we have one sheet inside our Excel file. If you look at here, we will have class name along with that method name, which we have appended over here at this point. So because of this we are getting the entire package structure along with the class name, and we will have corresponding pass and fail status. So now after that I will add the exception message also. So I need to do a check that whether I am getting the fail as fail as status or not. Fail dot equals ignore with test method status. So if it is there, so again I need to create a cell and string for exception message. Now inside this, first of all I need to, using this test method node, I need to read the your exception node. So again dot get attribute and dot get element by tag name, and the tag name will be your exception. And it is going to return me a list again. So node list exception underscore list. Now using this list I will fetch the node. So node exception underscore node equal to exception list dot get item, and will be index location will be 0 because I want to get only the first exception tag. Now here exception message will be, so again this dot get attribute and the tag, sorry, attribute name will be the class because will contain your exception class. So now I will create a cell. So cell underscore exception equal to row dot create, and this will be second, index value will be second, and set cell value will be your exception message. So let me rerun it again. Okay, let me close it first. So it is done. Let me do a refresh. So as you can see that now along with the fail status, I'm getting the exception message also. So as you can see that. So now I'm going to add some styling. For that means I will add green color for the pass status and red color for the fail status. So again in our report generator, so for formatting you need to take the help of cell styling. So here cell style fail equal to book dot create cell style similarly for the pass. So one is for the pass status and one is for the fail status. And here just before this, so fail dot set foreground color. So it is this method is used to fill the color, and color color dot red, and similarly for the pass so I'm just selecting the color for fail and pass. After this I need to specify the what kind of style I need to use for filling the color. So fail dot set fill pattern, cell style dot solid foreground, similarly for pass. And here if it is fail, then cell, or let me move this piece of code above this one. Cell underscore status dot set else type, and this will be your fail, else cell underscore status dot set cell style will be your pass. So now we will get color also. So let me rerun this. So report generated. I will do a refresh and open the report folder. So as you can see that we are getting the color now. So let me change the color here. Instead of green I will use bright green, and if I rerun it, so here this so here this I am using cell style for creating the format, or for creating or formatting your cell. So if I again open it, so as you can see that now we will have color along with it. Okay, so all you need to do is to just run this script. Automatically it will pick up the data from testng-result-xml and it will give you the report file. But here we have one more problem. This particular folder will not get generated until unless the testng-xml finishes its execution. And if I place this file inside this suite, we will get an exception because at that time this particular folder will not get generated. So in that case, I am going to take the help of ant, where I can define a target for running the testng XML also, and also for running this particular script. So let me show you how you can create an ant build.xml. So I have already one build.xml. Again I will do a control C and control V. So let me give you a small background of ant. Ant stand for another net tool, which is a build tool, and where ant totally rely on a XML file, that is build.xml. In the XML we will have target, and ant automatically read this target for execution purpose. So here I have this data build.xml. I am going to remove all the entry from here. So this is the basic XML for ant, where we specify the name of the project, default, generate report, and the base directory. So base directory dot means the current directory where the build.xml is there. So this will be your workspace directory where my copy of data build.xml is there. This default is the name of the target, which I'll tell you at the later. So in ant, if you want to execute anything, you need to create the target. For example, if I want to run our this JavaScript, we will have the main method, and from which will act as an entry point for execution. So similarly in the ant, targets act as an entry point for execution. So first of all, what I'll do, I'll create a target that will delete this test output folder. So target name will be delete, and this target will just delete the your test output folder. So in order to delete, I will take the help of delete tag, and here I need to specify the directory which I want to delete. So in our case it will be test output, and there is one more attribute I am going to use, fail on error, which I am going to make it false. So in any case, if this particular target will fail, the ant will continue its execution with rest of the target. Second target will be your create, where I will create the test output folder. And let's say I want to create a dependency among this target. For example, I want to execute delete target first, then only I want to execute the your create target. So in order to create the dependency, I will take the help of depends attribute and specify the target. So here I will create the test output directory. So for creating you need to give the mkdir tag. After that, as we know that our test script has a dependency on lots of jar file, so we need to specify the class path. So if you look at that, Eclipse already created .class path file for us, which will have all the reference to all the jar file. So similarly, I need to do it inside the end. So path. So for setting up the path, you need to use the path tag along with an ID. So using this ID, you can refer this path tag anywhere in the target. Now here, so as you can see that in the class path, we will have multiple jar file at this location. So I'm going to take the help of file set. So this file set will automatically look into this directory and includes file set, not file list. So directory will be this, and I'm going to include only jar file. After that, we will have dependency on this particular jar also, testng jar. So for single jar, if there is only single jar, you can take the help of path element, and you need to specify the location. So location will be this. Similarly, for our selenium jar, so again path element location, and this will be there. And also we require path to the bin folder also, because all our class file will be present inside the bin folder. Now after this, as we know that for all the Java file I need to do a compile. So again I will create a target for it. The name of the target will be compile, and it will depends on your create. So for compiling, we will take the help of javac tag. Inside the javac tag, first we need to specify the reference to the class path. So class path ref, and this will be the ID. After that, source directory. Source dir will be your src. Destination directory will be your bin folder. And I will only include runtime as true and include only star.java file. So this will be the source directory from where you need to pick up. This will be the target directory after compilation, where to generate the class file. Include only jar file, and this is an additional attribute. Otherwise you will get warning at the runtime. So once this is done, now it's time to add the testng and testng target inside this XML. So again, in our data build, so first of all you need to add a task definition like this. So this I have created a custom task, which that is the name of the task. Class path, again it is referring to all the jars, and I'm specifying the testng class inside this task. And using this task, I will run my testng-XML. So again, here I have this target already created for it. So this will be on compile. As we know that, sorry, this is the target run test, which will depend on compile, and this testng end task is coming from here, where I am specifying where the output directory. Halt on failure means if there is failure, it should not halt, it will continue its execution. And I'm specifying the class path reference. And here I have specified the testng-XML. And dot, which I specify, that will take it from the current directory where this build.xml is there. So if you look at here, we have build.xml and testng.xml in the same folder. That's why I have specified the directory as dot. So once this is done, once this target completed, now our report generation target should execute. So here target. Now here the default target come into the picture. So whenever you run your end script, if you don't specify any target name, as you can see that every target has a name. If I don't specify any target name, whatever the target name present in the default, it will pick up that target for execution. And I will create a dependency to our run test. And inside that, in order to execute it, I will use the Java tag because it's a simple Java standalone program. So class path reference, and the class name will be, so here I need to specify the class name along with the folder structure, sorry, package structure. So I go here, so this will be your report dot Excel report generator. Okay, so just let me delete this report, and I'm going to run this particular target. So I'll do a right click, run as, and build, where I specify which target I want to run. So for example, so for checking purpose, I will remove this dependency, otherwise it is going to execute all the dependent target. So I will run as and build. So as you can see that report generated, if I do a F5, so we are able to generate the report. So now all I need to do is that this, I need to create dependency and just do a right click, run as and build. So already default target is selected as generate report. So just do a right click, run as and build. So now as you can see that in the console, it has deleted the directory, it has created, compilation is done. Now it is triggering all our test method present inside the testng-XML. So let me do one thing, I'll delete this report.xml. So as you can see that it has started. So as you can see that it has started its execution, and we will just monitor the console because it is going to execute this entire testng-XML. So now it is executing your data driven test. And this execution is going through our ant build.xml. So our alert suite is over, and we are getting an exception for the test case alert. As you can see that test all passed, test case, test check element passed, and test case alert got failed. Now it is starting our second suite, that is WebDriver suite. So WebDriver suite is also over. There we are getting 6 failure. Now it will start with JavaScript suite. So JavaScript suite is also over again. Their total test run is 6 and failure 6. And now it will start with the last suite, that is your WebDriver backed Selenium suite. So this is the part of our test case loading a heavy loaded site. As you can see that our test suite has done, and if I do a refresh, so as you can see that generate report generated, and after doing a refresh we have an Excel file inside the report folder. If I open it, so as you can see that this report is coming from your testng result-xml. For every suite there is a sheet and their corresponding test case and their pass and fail status. So in this manner, with the help of testng-result.xml, you can generate an Excel report. And I have used the AND to create a dependency, because as we know that unless testng finishes its execution, we will not get this test output folder, and we will not able to run our generate report script, because it is totally dependent upon your testng-result.xml. So that's all for this video, and thanks for watching.